Hi everybody, I'm Charlotte, I'm the fertility coach. How's everybody doing? So if you haven't watched my videos before, then please comment, say hi, give me a like or love or whatever, and let me know if what you are seeing is helpful, if you can relate to it, because that's really useful for me. So I've done lots of videos on I've done my top 10 tips for getting pregnant, and what we can do, how things can be helped and all of that. I've done a lot about my own story, but I haven't really spoken a lot about why I started my business and how it all came around. So I obviously refer often to the fact that I started my business because it's something that I've been through myself. So it's affected me, it's affected my whole life, it's affected my marriage, it's affected relationships with family, with friends, work colleagues, because there's been so many times that I haven't wanted to go to things, or I just haven't felt well, or that I've been upset because there's been baby announcement after baby announcement after baby announcement, and then if people don't know why, it can be taken the wrong way, and just lots of different things. So I've spoken a lot about that, but I haven't spoken so much about how my business came around. So I've always wanted to do something that was going to help, because I know, like I've said many times, what it's like to be in that place that you just don't know what to do, you don't know where to turn, you don't know where to start, and that's a really tough place to be, and you can feel a little bit like you don't know where to start, you don't know what you can possibly do to help. And I'd been training to become a life coach because it's something that I'm passionate about. I'm hugely passionate about the change that mindset has had on me personally. Now, please don't think I'm one of these, your diagnosis is just your mindset and your infertility is just your mindset, because it's not. It's about so much more than that. And that aggravates me when people say that. Yes, there are things you can do. So, for example, one of the things I did often was fertility hypnotherapy, just because it relaxed me and it put me in the best possible place. And there's no harm in that, right? So, one of the things that I talk a lot about is mindset, and that's not because your mindset's going to change and you're going to, boom, go and get pregnant if you've got some diagnosis. But it's certainly a helping factor, and it's a very controlling factor. Our mindset controls how we feel, what we think, when we think it, how we feel something. Our mind is the difference between us being told one piece of information and taking it one way or another. And our subconscious mind is such a strong part of that journey, and it controls us, and it controls our thoughts and our feelings and our past, if we've had things happen in the past without us even realising it. So the subconscious part is a massive part. The subconscious part of the brain is a massive part of this, and I truly think that if we can master that, we can really start to move forward with the other things. So I've been training to become a life coach. If in the future this is out there, it's 2020 now, so in probably 2012 was a bad year for my fertility, really bad year. 2013 was the worst year for my fertility and personal life, other than I got married. But my father passed away very suddenly. I was really struggling, and the following years after that sort of followed trend. I wasn't in a good place. So fast forward to 2014, when I got pregnant with Remy and stayed pregnant, which was a big factor for me. I had Remy in 2015. Now, you would think that 2015 was the year that my life sort of went boom, change. I've got this baby now, and it wasn't. And if you follow me over on my social media, on any of my platforms, you will know that I talk openly about the fact that I thought that I was going to have this baby and boom, everything was going to be okay and my life was just going to click back to normal. Now, reality of the matter is I can't even remember what normal was, because we'd been trying for so long. So there wasn't a normal. Normal didn't really exist, because even when it wasn't that I was trying to conceive with my husband, it was that my endometriosis was causing me problems in other parts of my life. So there wasn't a normal. So part of me thinks now, what did I think I was going back to? But anyway, 2015 was, yes, I had my beautiful daughter. Life didn't just wave this magic wand and everything was okay. So fast forward to 2017. Sorry, I'm having a coffee. I'm in the UK and it's really cold and frosty today. So have a coffee to warm me up. So fast forward to 2017. Now, I don't know if you've ever been in this position, but have you ever been in the position where you feel like you've got everything that if someone had said to you 10 years before, write down on paper what you want in your life, and you wrote it down, have you ever been in a position where you've got all of that, or near enough, but then you still don't feel right? Because growing up, you say, you know, a lot of people will say, I want a nice husband, I want to be married, I want a nice home, you know, good jobs, nice cars on the drive, I want to be able to travel, go on holiday, I want children. Whatever it is that you want. Now, that's just what I wanted and that's what I said. Yours may be totally different. But fast forward to 2017, my husband was self-employed, earning a good wage. I'd got a fantastic job, earning a really good salary. We had a nice home, 2 nice cars on the drive. I'm not saying like big flash cars and a big flash house, but comfortable. We got to go on 2-3 holidays a year, sometimes 4 if work allowed. We went on weekends away. We'd got our daughter. We'd been married 4 years. And one of the things I'd always put it down to was my weight, because I'd struggled a lot with my weight. Now, in 2017, I'd lost a lot of weight. Well, in 2016, I'd lost a lot of weight and I'd kept it off. So I was happy, I was healthy, I was thin, I'd lost all this weight, I'd kept it off. So it was literally a case of whatever I could have thought about maybe 10 years ago, or even 5 years before that, tick the boxes. So I couldn't understand what was wrong. Why didn't something feel right? Now, my dad wasn't there, and that will always be an element of it, but it wasn't that. I knew it was something else. And when I'd been going through my IVF the second time, I'd reached out to hypnotherapists that specialised in fertility. I'd had fertility acupuncture, I'd had fertility reiki, fertility massage. I'd tried all different things, but what specifically worked for me and that helped me feel better was fertility acupuncture and fertility hypnotherapy all the time. I had that every week, and then I used to have some fertility reiki and fertility massage just every now and again, and sort of alternate it. So I'd reached out to a hypnotherapist and said, basically, something's wrong and I don't know what. So I was probably that woman's worst nightmare. She's like, oh God, here we go, we've got another one. And when she came to my house, she said, what's wrong? You know, what can I help you with? And if you know me personally, you'll know I'm quite blunt. I said, well, I'm not saying like, you know, I wasn't, and I'm not a multi-millionaire with, you know, endless money in the bank, but we were comfortable. We worked hard, don't get me wrong, we worked damn hard, but we had money in the bank. We did these things, we had cars, we had holidays, we had our daughter, we were married, you know, we were doing okay, and something just felt off. And I had this session with her, and I didn't actually know that much at the time about what she was going to do to me or for me. And for this, I'll thank her forever. I knew she was a hypnotherapist, but she was a regression hypnotherapist, so specialising in the past and things that had bothered me in the past. And one of the things that I didn't realise she was going to do until I was under, so to speak, was that she allowed me to have a conversation with my dad and say goodbye. And now some people believe in this, some people don't, and your belief is your belief, that's fine. But I didn't tell anybody about this because when you're into that sort of thing, there's a bit of a stigma that goes with it. So I just thought, we'll see what happens. And that night, I kid you not, and I would never lie about it, where we lived at the time, we lived in like a little close, and we were the second house in, and it was quite quiet, but next to it was a really busy road, and there was like a lorry depot at the top, and so the lorries would go all through the night, and I'm quite a light sleeper, so I would hear them, and that night I just felt this bang, and you know when people say I just jumped up out of bed, I've done that twice in my life, and I'll get on to the other time in a minute. So that night I had this bang moment, like jump up out of bed, and I genuinely thought that this lorry had gone into our house, that there'd been an accident and this lorry had gone into the house. I looked out the window, nothing, everything was okay, everything was quiet, everything was still. And I'd said to this lady, I've got like a heavy feeling in my heart all the time. And I felt guilty because of it, because I thought, well, I've got what I always wanted. I've got my baby wife. I've got this heavy feeling in my heart all the time. And I'm not going to say there hasn't been some bad times since then, but that heavy feeling went from that day. And I think that time was due to me being able to say goodbye to my dad. But I started seeing this lady, and I got more and more into it. I got more and more interested. And I've always been a little bit involved and interested in going and having readings, going and having, you know, people say that I'm a fortune told, but you know, that sort of thing. And everybody I've been to has always said, you're going to work with this in some way, or it's going to be a big part of your life. And I was a bit like, okay, whatever. So anyway, 2017 was the year I really got into all this stuff. And I'd always dabbled, but just sort of in and out. And to be honest, in and out discreetly, because you do get this stigma and this thing attached to you that, oh, you know, you're a hippie and you're this and you're that, if you're into anything slightly out of the, you know, ordinary. So I dabbled in and out, and as time's gone on, it's got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I realised how much my mindset had been holding me back, and how much changing my mindset had helped me. And it's funny because professionally, and this is the thing, you can't say anything about yourself without sounding like you're bigging yourself up, so I apologise. But professionally in my job, I'd gone from sort of here to like 5 times up quite quickly. And years ago I'd have been like, oh, you know, I was lucky. I wasn't. It's because I worked hard, and I'm not going to be ashamed to say that. But professionally, my mindset was bang switched on, because that's what we trained to do. But personally, my mindset was completely off, and I put all my energy into working for somebody else. And I love the job, don't get me wrong, but now when I look back, I can just see it wasn't my calling. So I thought, okay, I'm going to train to be a life coach, and specifically mindset, and look into hypnotherapy. And I still have Reiki. And I went to have a Reiki session, and this lady said to me, you need to be very careful because you're going to miss something to do with your business. And at the time, I thought, oh my God, I can't take on anything else. Like, if you know me, you'll know I had a beauty business before, and I don't do that now, and I loved it, and I was quite successful, and most people think I was crazy to give that up to come and do fertility coaching, but when your heart and soul is in something, there isn't such a thing as crazy, because, you know, there's a saying, and my mum used to say it to me, I don't know if you're watching in where in the world you are, you might not, but everything will work out in the wash, and it'll just work out. And I just thought, well, I'm passionate about this. So she'd said, you're going to miss this business opportunity, don't be too blinkered on what you are doing. But with me, I am very much, once I've made my mind up about something, that's it. And I said, okay, and I sort of come out of there, and I thought, oh, she must be on about something in the future. But the qualification I was doing was an open qualification that you could coach in anything. And I thought, no, mindset. It's really important to me. It's played a huge part in my job. So there we go. It's played a huge part in my life, my personal life, my professional life, in helping me with my mindset, with depression after I had Remy, before I had Remy. And that night was the second night I got my bam moment, and I jumped up out of bed, and my husband Mark, I was like, Mark, I know what I'm meant to be doing, how stupid am I? Fertility coaching. There's a huge call for it, there's not enough out there about it, it's hugely passionate to me. By all means, I don't ever claim to know everything there is about it, but what I don't know, I look at and I research and I spend my time building my knowledge. But I know the emotional strain of it, and that's the thing that most people reach out for help, and then we build on the knowledge and future together. And that was the second moment in my life that I had that bam moment, and I went running down the stairs and I got like this big piece of paper and did a brainstorm of, I could see this website and I could see what I wanted to do, and I didn't just want to do coaching, I wanted to do all the other things. And then my own story started coming to me about what I did that helped me, and I thought, okay, I need to do the hypnotherapy, it helped me so much and still helps me now. So I changed my angle slightly, and I did finish that qualification so that I could coach, and I could have just coached from that, but maybe me, if you know me, I wanted to do everything possible. So I went on and specifically did fertility, and I did a relationship coaching qualification. And a lot of people ask me why I did the relationship qualification. It affects our relationships, and I don't just mean with our spouse, our significant other. I mean in general, with family, with friends, with colleagues, with bosses. You know, when I was going through IVF, both times, the amount of times I had to go into my boss and say, really sorry, I've got to go to the clinic today. So it's making sure that you can work on that communication and speak to somebody about it and build those relationships. And you've got to feel really comfortable to be able to go to someone and say, this is what I'm going through, and lay your heart and soul out on the line. So that was my second bam moment. So I finished my coaching qualification, and I then went on to do the fertility and relationship qualifications, and I then did my hypnotherapy qualification, and I am hugely passionate about the fact that the two go hand in hand. They work really well together, and the hypnotherapy doesn't only deal with fertility issues or miscarriages or IVF or diagnoses. We can deal with all of the things from the past, because I'll say this over and over again, when I speak to clients, a lot of the time, if they've lost a bit of self-love, self-worth, self-respect, there's something that's held them back. It can be from their childhood, it can be from a previous relationship, it can be from someone who was previously in their life that's not now. So we do the whole range of hypnotherapy, whether it be that you want to lose weight before you start trying to conceive, whether it be that you are struggling with anxiety, with stress, with confidence, with your personal relationship, with intimacy, with professional relationships, with being able to speak, with communication, with trauma, with PTSD, with maybe sometimes a lot of people will have like a lack of childhood bonding. So literally everything you can think of with hypnotherapy can be covered. So I didn't want to just be the person who was like, okay, well this is to do with fertility and getting pregnant and giving birth and baby bonding and all of this, and sorry if you bring a problem to me that isn't to do with that, I don't want to deal with that, because it's about so much more. And if you've watched a lot of my videos, you will know that I talk about keep taking the baggage along, and without us realising it, our baggage starts from day dot, and we just keep taking it along and along and along. And I'm hugely passionate in the fact that if we don't start to offload some of this baggage, and if you've watched some of my terminologies before, I always talk about suitcase. We can keep ramming the stuff in the suitcase, and eventually that suitcase lid will just pop open. And it doesn't come out in order, it doesn't come out in neat little folded pockets, everything just explodes. And again, we can keep ramming it back in, or we can start having a sort out and saying, you know what, I don't need this anymore. I don't need that memory, I don't need that belief, I don't need that opinion of myself, of someone else, of a friend, of family, of a co-worker. I don't need that anymore. And it's like sorting your wardrobe out. And when you start putting things back in the case, It's the things that you need packaged neatly, that you're in control of putting back in, and the lid closes. And every now and again we have to do that, because we can't just keep ramming stuff in endlessly. It's good, the case is just going to break. Because we go along the next day and something else goes in the case and something else goes in the case. So we need to be able to learn to open the case and say, do you know what, that served me for a while but it doesn't serve me anymore, so I don't want that. And choose what we're taking out and what we're putting back in. And when we are putting things back in, we need to be able to deal with it. So I'm hugely passionate about that, and that's what the coaching and hypnotherapy together can do. So that is where my business came from. A bad moment, well, 2 bad moments, 3 years apart, that I didn't even realise were related. So that is why I'm so passionate about it. A, because it's affected me, and B, because Mr. Universe told me that I need to be doing this. So if you need any help with anything, if you need any support, please contact me, please comment, please subscribe to the channel. There's new videos uploaded all the time. So if you're watching me on wherever you're watching me, and if you want to follow me on other platforms, my Facebook is The Fertility Coach, Instagram is Fertility Coach UK, and my YouTube channel is Charlotte-The Fertility Coach. And I put different things on all of those, so if it's something that you are interested in, then please don't hesitate to contact me, and I wish you all of the luck in the world on your journey. And please don't suffer in silence, please don't try and do this alone. Ask for help, reach out, and please don't ever feel ashamed of your journey. Take care, goodbye.